For years, I've been doing research on this motorcycle or research on Cliff Palmer's name and have found absolutely zero. So at this point, I'm like, just hearing somebody's voice tied to this motorcycle, I said, man, it'd be incredible if you had some racing history on it. And he said, well, that's why I'm calling. Oh my God. Holy smokes, is this what I think it is? All right, guys, absolutely huge day here at Wheels Through Time. We're back in the board track racing exhibit. Some of the most historic racing motorcycles in the world right here inside this exhibit. And what I've got right here is a box of history that may very well be, I'm shaking just talking about it, the most important and most significant Harley-Davidson racing bit of history that's been unearthed in, I don't know, 110, 120 years. So incredible stuff. I'm shaking just thinking about it. What's inside this box? I don't even know what's inside the box. So as the story goes, guys, the bike in front of us here is a 1919 Harley-Davidson racing flexible sidecar. Incredibly rare motorcycle. There's only, as I know it, 2 of these Harley-Davidson flexi racing rigs known today. One of them is up in Milwaukee. It's a 1929. This one is a 1919. And as you guys can see, the sidecar actually articulates. So very, very rare. Flexible company was out of Loudon, Ohio, and they made special flexible sidecars for the road and for racing. So this example, incredible story behind it, at least with my history. Back in 2011, I think it was 2011, my wife and I's first road trip before we were married, we jumped in the car, drove all the way up to Michigan to pick up this sidecar. Now, at the time it was missing an engine, and we show up to this guy's place. He got a phone call on the phone, jumped in the car pretty much immediately, and beelined it up to his house, like 10 hours. We get out of the truck and like my wife's looking at me flip out over this thing, and she's like, we came all the way for this? So 1919 Harley flexible sidecar. So the sidecar is ultra rare, potentially the rarest thing about it. The bike in its 2-wheel form, unobtainium. I mean, here at the museum, we've got more examples than I think you can see anywhere in the world. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these bikes. And guys, this is stuff that you just can't see anywhere. We're very few places. Harley-Davidson Museum, I think the Barber Museum in Birmingham, Alabama may have one of these bikes. Here at Wheels Through Time, I think there are more in one place than anywhere. So incredibly rare racing chassis. Almost every part of the bike is factory racing stuff. And then when you add this sidecar to the motorcycle, it just becomes, like I said, one of 2 known. So one of the things about this bike, when I got it, I didn't know any history. And we went up and bought it for its rarity. We get the thing back and we're unloading it and looking outside the back shop. You guys have seen it in some of the videos. So we're sitting in the shop and the light started to shine just right on this sidecar where we could read a guy's name on the side. And if you look real close here, it's tough to see, but in black it says Cliff Palmer, and then there's a lightning bolt here. And then it says Battle Creek, Michigan, and it's tough to see. My wife actually saw it first. I never even knew that it was there, and she goes, hey, check this out. This guy's name is on the side of this hack. So we had a name, and that was it. And for years, like I said, I found this bike in 2011. For years, I've been doing research on this motorcycle or research on Cliff Palmer's name and have found absolutely zero. Until 2 weeks ago. I didn't even find it. It found us, which is one of the remarkable things about Wheels Through Time here. Every day history happens, and this place, it just seems to attract it. We got the most amazing phone call from a fella named Andrew Hinckley out of Battle Creek, Michigan, same place the motorcycle was raced from. And it actually started out as a message. So I'm reading my message pad and it's like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Everybody's getting ready to go home. It's like, all right, I'm gonna run upstairs, check the message pad one more time and see if any interesting calls came in. So read the message pad, called the guy back immediately. He says, hey, you guys have my great grandfather's 1919 Harley Davidson racing flexible sidecar. So at this point, I'm like, just hearing somebody's voice tied to any racing motorcycle in the museum is a really incredible thing. And to know that there's been some lineage to where somebody nowadays can connect with this motorcycle just gives it a whole new element of it gives it a whole new historical importance, So I'm like digging the phone call right off the bat. I said, man, it'd be incredible if you had some racing history on it. And he said, well, that's why I'm calling. So as it would be, we talked for quite a while on the phone, and he decided to send down a box of that racing history about this motorcycle. I don't even know what's in this box. He told me some of the things he had, and I was really excited about it. And then when we talked about sending a few things down, he said, I'm just going to leave you in suspense, and you'll have to wait to figure it out. So it was one of those like, how can you do this to me? I was like, raised my blood pressure for a whole week. Now the crazy part about it, this thing got lost in the mail. He sent it registered mail. All right. So he sends it out, and it goes, first day goes right into Detroit from Battle Creek, and it goes missing from Detroit. And he and I were both freaking out. I cannot tell you, if I thought my blood pressure was high before, it was really high. I can't imagine, how he was feeling. This thing is, this is his family's racing history. This has been in his family for 100 years. And to have the utmost confidence in the USPS, and for them they didn't let us down. They ended up delivering, and they ended up coming through, but gosh dang it, with no shortage of suspense. So we're going to go ahead and open this. Now, he told me about this initially. He says, I've got newspaper articles, and I've got photographs, and I've got race programs, and then some really other incredible stuff that you're going to want to see. He said that the bike was raced by his grandfather all the way from the late teens through the 20s, and that he won some really important races on it. So we are going to find out exactly what those races were. And oh man, look at this. This is incredible. So this is it looks like these are the scrapbooks here. Trying to be ultra dainty with this. And yeah, man, these are old books. Looky there. So look at this. They're like shoelace bound almost. Should we open these first, or should we keep going? There's something big in here. Holy cow. Oh my God. Holy smokes. Is this what I think it is? I think this is a trophy. This is definitely a trophy. Oh man. Let's see what it says. I wonder if there's anything else in here. Oh my goodness, this is incredible. Okay, so I think we've got it all. Now, we're gonna crank this bike up here momentarily. But first, I wanna dig into some of this history. Let's go ahead and look at some pictures before we crank this trophy open. Unbelievable. I'm like shaking. So you guys, just for some perspective, a lot of these bikes in here, the history is known about a lot of these bikes, or at least a portion of that history. To connect stuff all the way back to its racing days is a very difficult thing. So bikes in this collection here, we can trace this green one back here. That one's a unique machine because at the time that we got it, there was some original racing history out of East St. Louis with it. But other ones of the other examples of these bikes here, We've got 2 and 3 owners back, but to know who it was actually raced by in its day is a very, very rare thing. That's one of the things that made this so special right off the bat, is that we had a name. We knew who it was raced by, but we didn't know anything about him. So finding out man, he packed this just excellent. I can't wait to speak with him and get some more history. Now, Andrew said he had this stuff for 35 years. That he's had this in his house. He did not tell me about this, which I am ready to rip it open as fast as we can. We're trying to be ultra careful here. He had this stuff in his house for 35 years. It was passed down from his great grandfather to his dad, and being ultra gentle. And he just decided that it was time for a new home for this. Now, he had been doing research trying to find this motorcycle or the motorcycle tied to these artifacts for years and years. And as it would be, it was just a random newspaper article, I think in the Battle Creek local newspaper, that, in Maggie Valley, North Carolina, 1919 racing sidecar that exists, that was once raced by a Battle Creek man, and told a little bit about his grandfather. So he was able to connect the dots and then contact us, having never seen the motorcycle. He's never been down here to the museum. Hopefully we're going to change that, because I want him to see this thing firsthand. Oh my gosh, look at this. Right off first page, National Championship Motorcycle Classic, Altoona Speedway, July 4th, 1925. If he raced this vehicle in that race, that is, motorcycle polo. There's newspaper articles. This is worth going through super slow. Original newspaper articles with Joe Petrali. This is absolutely incredible. So, there it is. Look, 80 miles an hour. Milwaukee. Here are the Flexies. Is his name in here? American Steam Pump Cushmans. God, that sure looks like this bike. That sure looks like this bike. It doesn't tell who it is. National Championship races. 80 miles an hour. Wow. So, okay. I can't take it anymore. Original Harley Davidson advertisements. What's this? Oh, now he also said his great-grandfather used to sell Aces. I knew that that's what this was going to be. He said he used to sell Ace motorcycles. This is an original Ace 4-cylinder catalog, guys. This is just packed with history. This is just the first scrapbook, and we've looked at like 10 pages. Ace Motorcycles, the 4-cylinder master, made by Michigan Motor Company. So everybody always thought, look, Cliff Palmer, there's his name. Cliff Palmer, Ace, Sales and Service, 96 West Rittenhouse in Battle Creek, Michigan. Just amazing. Oh gosh. So we got hours of digging to look in these scrapbooks. There's piles of photographs. There's the bike. Look at this. There it is. Big wide handlebars, boat nose sidecar, racing Harley Davidson front end. This is no doubt the motorcycle. Oh gosh, this is incredible. Look at this photo. Holy smokes. And he's all decked out in his Harley racing gear. Man, this is what we live for, y'all. Like, seriously. I don't know if you guys can understand how exciting this is. Oh, look at, there it is. Check it out. Oh, he's got a reinforced front end on it here, which is not this front end, but look how skinny that sidecar is. And you can see the big block of wood out there. See right here. Check it out. This is incredible. Unbelievable. What an image. There he is sliding it sideways. I mean, there's so little known out there about the flexible era. You know, you've got, well, all of this stuff is rare history to see it today, but there's been some great resources over the years where some incredible published photos have come out. You know, there are specific photographers that have had their whole collections from the 1900s and 19-teens and 1920s become published works to where you can see them even online a lot today. There's some great books out there. Stephen Wright's book, American Racer, has some of the best racing stuff out there, period. These photographs are unpublished, unseen. It's so rare to see flexible racing stuff. Now here at the museum, we've got 2 flexible racing sidecars. The other one here, incredibly historic. This one was raced by Pop Dreyer out of Indianapolis. Pop was a factory Indian rider, and Pop was the guy that set all of the flexible speed records. So we got like racing posters, AMA records held by Indian here, and when you go to the sidecar records, most of the sidecar records were held by Pop Dreyer. So really, really rare bike. That's got an Indian Daytona racing engine. Same year, 1919, 1920. It's kind of unknown. This one's a 19 by VIN number. But each of these bikes, in their day, I mean, the way I always explain it is guys like us, we couldn't even get bikes like this. This is rarest of the rare. Factory employed riders, preferred dealers, just incredible stuff. So we're going to go through some more of these photos here in just a second, but I got to see what this trophy is all about. Like he said, this bike won some incredibly historic races, and it's just amazing how history comes around 100 years later. And I knew nothing about this motorcycle other than the name on the side of the bike. Oh my God, it's a Silver Cup. I'm trying to be as fragile as I can, guys. Sorry for the suspense, but you're just gonna have to live with it. This looks a lot like the Indian trophy that we have up front. Upstairs. Look at this. Oh my goodness. 8 Mile National Sidecar Championship. South Bend, July 5th, 1926, won by Cliff Palmer. Wow. National Championship trophy. That is just incredible. Holy smokes. Wow. I'm trying to... There it is. Look at this, guys. 8 Mile National Sidecar Championship. There's his name, Cliff Palmer, out of Battle Creek, Michigan. This is like, yep, yeah, it is an Indian trophy. Looky there. Wow. This may well be the most historic trophy that we have here at the museum. Now we've got another sidecar trophy that was raced at Ormond Beach, and they actually did a speed record, but like, I'm kind of speechless. This is like, this doesn't happen very often either. I tend to be a motor mouth when it comes to this racing stuff, but check it out, guys. Silver Cup. What's this? Probably 14, 15 inches tall. Holy smokes. Can you see his name right there? Can you see it? Yeah. Cliff Palmer right here. And the Palmer. And then the Battle Creek's so tough to see. The Battleecreek. And in the right light, you can see the Michigan down here. It says MICH. And actually, if you look too, the white, can you see this white right here in white? That says FLXI, and then there was a BLE. So that's the brand of the sidecar, flexible sidecar. Oh my gosh. Andrew, dude, you're blowing us away here. You got a crowd of people, and we're like, we knew that the trophy was rare when it was in a towel, but to know that it's a national champion is something that, like I said, guys, connecting racing history to any bike of any era is a hugely important thing, and it's a tough thing to do. Bikes got torn down. Bikes got changed, they got wrecked, they got scrapped. There's any number of reasons why this sort of history diverts and maybe never makes it back together. One of the best things about this is Andrew saw the motorcycle in the paper, knew that it was here, and wanted to reconnect that history. So for you, sir, we are eternally grateful. let's hear this thing run, guys. Now we can say we're going to fire up a national champion sidecar from 1926, guys. So these bikes are no brakes, no clutch, direct drive. When the motor's running, the wheel is spinning. These are 80, 85 mile an hour bikes with the sidecars on them. 100 mile an hour bikes without the sidecars. So this machine features an ultra rare engine. The engine is a 1919 what we call a fast motor, and the fast motors were special racing engines. In the 19 teens. Harley Davidson realized that their early platform was faster than their new stuff, so they actually built all of the racing engines off the 1914 engine cases. So everything's a little closer to center. So when you look at internal combustion and where your valves are at and where the combustion's at in relation to your piston, the thing about a side valve with the valves over on the side is there's a distance, and that flame travel, the closer you are, apparently they figured out the faster the bikes were. That's why overhead valve stuff works so good, is because there's no hallway in between. The valves open and the piston's right there, combustion's right there. So this one, it's been a whole year. I know we got it oiled up. Gas in the back, fuel lines connected, gas is off. Okay. And this thing is like pretty dang close to as raced. Like I said, when I found the bike, it didn't have an engine. Actually found a racing engine out of Michigan. Could be the same engine that actually came out of the bike. But pretty much as raced. I mean, you got original grease cups on the rockers here. See, the rubber mud flap is hanging on by a thread back here, which I'm really surprised I haven't broken off yet. Or this is an original racing wheel, and this is like, when I got this thing, the tire's crumbling off of it. That's the remnants of a ribbed racing tire, like one of these here. On the SCA, and you can see this wheel was just like too amazing to tear apart and harvest for the hub. The hub spins beautifully. The rim's pretty roached, and the tire obviously is nothing more than just a piece of history, but you can see where they've soldered the spokes together to stiffen the wheel up. As it would be, it came with a spare flexible racing wheel there, so bolted the other one on. He actually had original racing bars in here too. So the thing is, the flexi bars, they run these way up high because you got great leverage. I assume he was racing the bike in two-wheel form also with these bars. So a couple bolts, you undo the sidecar, pop in your new handlebars, and you got a bike like what you see in the pictures from the two-wheel racing stuff. So let's go ahead and pull this out, and we're gonna give this thing a go. Okay, let's turn the fuel on, guys. Now, interesting starting procedure on these, you just flick the rear wheel. So we kind of set the spark where it needs to be. I've got chain tension's fine. Like I said, oil level's fine. Let's retard it just a little bit. Okay, guys. Hopefully we're just a couple pulls and this thing will fire up. Oh, decompressor's up. And here we go. Let's choke it a little bit. All right, here we go, guys. Wow. All right. National champion. All right, guys, so you can hear this thing popping and cracking. It's making incredible noise. Amazing history, 1919 Harley Davidson Flexi. Now, as you guys know, we're just scratching the surface on what is in these scrapbooks, the history that's here. I've just flipped through a couple of the photos, and I can already tell that this is possibly some of the most significant racing stuff from the 1920s that's been turned up in I don't know how long. So incredibly excited to dig more into this. Make sure that you're subscribed and you're checking out the channel. We're going to be doing another video on this where we call Andrew up and dive into this family history, goes through some of the photos. I saw race programs. What's in here, like I said, has the potential to rewrite some of the history of the 1920s that's known. So incredibly excited to do that. Make sure you guys are tuning in. Cliff Palmer's 1919 Harley Davidson sidecar rig, and all the history that goes with it, guys. Thanks for tuning in.